The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 14. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of successful women finding their inner journey to self-confidence 5 days a week. Subscribe to our newsletter by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Well, hello friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. And today I have a very special friend who's going to share her story about her own journey to self-confidence. She is a banker and also a financial freedom blogger. So if you ever need any financial freedom tips, this is the lady to go to. She resides in Honolulu, Hawaii. And the first time I met her was in Nashville, right? I mean, we just pretty much hit it off. And, you know, she's just a ball. And I just had to bring her over to have an interview with her and share her story with you. So her name is Meylysa. Like I said, she's from Hawaii. And May, if you can fill in the blanks if I missed anything, feel free to let the listeners know.
No, not really. I like you too, Sheena. You're awesome.
All right. So we're gonna.
Sorry, we were actually interviewing. We could see each other, and I'm making funny faces, so I apologize for that.
That's okay.
Anyway, other thing I'd like to mention though is really cool is I did an Ironman in 2012 in Kentucky.
Oh wow, how was that?
It took me 16 hours and 12 minutes.
But you finished it. That's all that matters.
Oh yeah, no, I think it's a big achievement. That's why I mentioned it.
All right. Well, I do have some questions for you today, May. So, first off, what's your cultural background?
Well, I was born in Montreal. However, I grew up in New York State. So basically, I grew up with a lot of white people, like Germans and Jewish and people. However, I'm actually I'm Taiwanese and French Canadian. So I was considered the Chinese girl in the community, and so we would eat rice at home and stuff like that. And and we always knew where the Chinese restaurant was in town, wherever that one Chinese restaurant was, if there was one, or the neighboring town, wherever it was. And that's what my cultural background was. So I guess I thought about race more because I was kind of an outsider. So when you're an outsider in a community, people point it out to you more that you're of a different race, you know? Like if you're the same as everyone else, people don't mention it. However, if you're different, people tend to bring it up a lot, especially when you're a kid. So that's my cultural background.
I didn't even know you were born in Montreal. That's so cool. Like, I didn't know you were Canadian.
Yes, I'm Canadian, Miss Canada, Canadian girl. You didn't know that, did you?
No, because I'm from Toronto, and that's only like a 5-hour drive, Montreal and Toronto. So it's pretty cool. You know, I learned something new about May today as well. So, May, I just wanted to know, what would be your favorite self-confident quote?
Just do it.
I like it. Short and sweet and to the point.
You can remember it too, right?
Yeah. Hey,
like you're asking, what is your favorite quote? I'm thinking, I don't remember any of those long-ass quotes. All I remember is just do it, because that's really the most important one anyway.
It's true. You know, just taking the action and just going for it. So I like it. So in your own words, what would be your definition of self-confidence?
Just being yourself. And that's it.
All right.
I think when people are not confident, they're afraid to be themselves. That's like if you want to just go out and tell someone you think they're cool and you're afraid to be yourself and just do what you want to do. If you want to just jump in the ocean, go for a swim and you're afraid to, it's because you're not confident in yourself. So when you are okay and you can just be yourself, you're being confident in yourself because you're just being yourself. Being yourself is being confident in yourself. Doing whatever you want to do.
Yep, that's a great analogy. I mean, sometimes people are afraid of being themselves. They always have to worry about what other people think of them. So I like that. What was your life like before you had this discovery of self-confidence? You know, like you mentioned, you were always pegged as the Chinese kid in your hometown when you were a kid, right?
Before I was self-confident, I used to worry a lot about what other people thought about whatever I was doing all the time. Actually, it reminds me of a good quote from Confucius, and I'm not being literal because he did everything in Chinese anyway, so it's not like you could be literal. However, his quote was like, when I was in my 20s, I worried and cared about what other people thought of me. And then when I was in my 40s, I didn't give a damn what people thought of me. And then when I was in my 70s, I realized no one was ever thinking about me at all. And it reminds me of this is that if you don't have a lot of self-confidence, you worry a lot about what people think of you. And you spend a lot of mental energy on that. And instead of enjoying your life, living in the moment, being happy, you're worrying, and it's a big drain, you know? So when I was younger, before I was self-confident, I would be tired more often. I wouldn't have as much fun. Like, I just wouldn't do the things I wanted to do because I was afraid what other people would think. I would let what other people said to me affect me. Like, I would get upset. If someone said something bad about me, I might cry about it or something. Or get all stressed out about things that people would say about me. And then it was really tiring. You know, living that way is very tiring because you're constantly having to figure out how to avoid certain people or how to make people happy or all these things that you'll never know anyway. However, you spend all your mental energy working around that, which really decreases your health, it decreases your energy, it decreases your enjoyment of life. You don't live in the present, and it makes life not very enjoyable. So that's what my life was like before I became self-confident. And I remember when I was a kid and my teachers would be like, all you need to do is have confidence in yourself. And I always, oh no, they would say, you just need more self-esteem. And I wanted to hit them in the head and be like, well, why don't you give it to me? Where is it? Why don't you just hand me over this freaking self-esteem you keep talking about? I don't know what the point of this conversation is because I don't think I got more of it just by you saying that to me. That's what that is, you do need more self-esteem when, you know, if you don't have enough confidence. Now, when you don't have it, it just feels like I said, it's just, you're tired, you just don't enjoy life, and you worry a lot.
Yeah, I mean, when you're always pleasing some other people, it's like, it'll never be enough. So you have to learn to just start with you. And, you know, you got to start learning how to love yourself. You got to start learning how to take care of yourself, and all those other things will come, right? But I think also with being in an Asian influence, like we're always told to make others happy, you know, be courteous to people, don't always rock the boat. And, you know, it takes a toll on most women, right? So what was like your aha moment when you realized, you know, you were just enough. You didn't have to do all the things that you did when you were younger. You know, you didn't have to care about what other people thought or, you know, had to people please everybody.
Yeah, I had to look at my notes because that's a hard question. Because I don't feel like I had an aha moment. But I do remember one time. Is basically I had been it lasted a couple years. I was in a really unhealthy relationship with a man, and it just was really bad. And I just did everything pretty much he said, and I didn't do anything I wanted to do really. And so I ended up getting in a lot of trouble with like legal stuff and I had to go to court. I had to do all kinds of things that stressed the hell out of me, and then, you know, all kinds of stuff. I had to deal with police officers and things that I never had to do before, and all kinds of crazy stuff that I brought into my life. You know, I didn't realize that at the time. However, you bring everything you bring into your life. And it was a really horrible, horrible time in my life. So anyway, after I got out of that relationship, I started thinking about how I got in it in the first place. Because when you're in it, I don't know, it's like you gradually get in this like pit or something, and then you don't even know you're there. And then when you get out, you're like, how the hell did I get in that pit? You know, like what happened? I wasn't raised to do stuff like that. How did I end up doing that kind of stuff or end up with a guy like that? And I had to think about my life a lot. And I started you know, reading self-help books and doing affirmations and figuring out what is it in my life that caused me to do that. And from that experience, just because I went through so much shit, like I went through so much crap. And then just other things in my life that I've been through. Like I lived in a foreign country for like 5 years. And I used to do things that most people have never done. Like I trained Kung Fu on a mountain for a month out of every year, and then I just did things that people don't usually do. Like I cleaned temples. I've done a lot of things that, and after accumulating all these life experiences and going through a lot of crap and all kinds of stuff, you end up not caring about what other people think anymore. It just doesn't matter because you're just like, it doesn't matter what you think of me because I don't care. Because it's like, I just want to be happy, and I know what makes me happy now because I've been through so much stuff that I realized this makes me happy. This doesn't make me happy. I like this about my life. And so I now do the things that make me happy, and I don't do the things that don't make me happy. And I'm really strict about it because I value my happiness. I value being happy so much that I don't let anything else in my life come in. So It was before I did let things in my life that were not good for me. And I think just, see, this is why I had this question, I was like, I don't know. I think it's just being able to experience a lot of life gives you confidence, which is why my quote is just do it. Because if you want to do something, you should just go do it. And when you do it, you have that experience. You know what it's like, you know? I mean, when you first drive a car, you don't have any confidence. You have to do it. And as you do it, you get confidence, right? With anything in life, you have to just do it. And if you're not confident in your life, it's because you need to live more of your life. You need to go out and do stuff. And the more stuff you do, the more confident you get because you know what you can do, what you can handle, what you like, what you don't like, and you just understand the world better. See, I think your question is kind of hard. Like, when did you have an aha moment? 'Cause I don't feel like I woke up one day and I was like, oh, I have confidence. I'm so confident today, you know? I feel like falling from the sky. Or I had no aha moment. It was just like, I just started, I don't know, I just started liking myself more and understanding that I was valuable and that I just started being myself. I've always been myself. However, I used to worry more about what other people thought. Now I just am myself and I don't spend time on what other people are thinking because it's just too draining mentally. So anyway, I don't even know if I answered your question. However, there you go.
I think you answered it perfectly. I mean, the fact that you're just even aware of the things that you had to do before, like you were aware that you had to please other people and it was mentally draining you. Not a lot of people out there who may be listening to this are aware that they might be doing the same things, and just you sharing that could help them as well. So I think it was a perfect answer, May.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now that you've had these aha moments or these life experience, and now that you've discovered that, you know, you can just do what you want and what makes you happy, and you tolerate the things that make you happy versus what doesn't. I mean, what's your life like now?
My life is pretty fun. I like my life. I do fun stuff. I hang out with my baby. I go surfing. I just do what I like. I like to blog. I like to talk about financial freedom. I like to go running. I like to work out. I just do what I like. I have a great husband. I have a baby now. So, I don't know. Life is just easier. You know, you just spend time doing what you like. And then you're pretty happy.
It's like there's an easy flow to it, probably, right?
I think simplicity is. I was thinking about this on the drive today. Actually, I went and volunteered at an elementary school this morning. We painted the parking lots because Hawaii public schools have a backlog on repairs, and so there's a nonprofit organization called Hawaii 3Rs that is comprised of like just community members, parents, whatever, who want to help repair the schools faster so that their kids can go to school and have a functioning school. So I was there volunteering, and it was really fun, but that's not my point here. My point is on my drive home, I was thinking about the difference between simple and complicated. In Chinese, you know, if you say complicated, you know, if you say 复杂, that means it's not good. Like, they're kind of bad. It's a bad place. Complicated is not good, right? They would say if you go to a bar, that's very 复杂. It's very complicated, right? Because they sell drugs at bars. People get raped at bars. This is not a good place to go. That's what they said in Taiwan when I was living there. 复杂, right? And simple is like, it's just simple, right? You got simple and you've got complicated. And all the bad things, the evilness, the draining, no energy, it's in the complicated. Because you take something that's so simple and you make it so complicated, right? If somebody smiles at you and you smile back, it's nice. That's it. Now, if you start thinking about it and you're like, oh my God, does he like me? Oh my God, I'm married. Oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And if you have these thoughts in your head, or you start overthinking simple things that happen in your life, you drain out your brain. Your energy goes away. You don't live in the present anymore, and you don't enjoy the moment, and it complicates things. So I was thinking, if you just live simply, you know, you're happy because you're just enjoying life as it happened, just as it is. And that's all that it is. And so to me, right now, my life is simple, and that's why I'm so happy, because it's just as it is, and it's wonderful, and I like it, and I love myself, and I love my life. I have a deep appreciation for it. So I just let it happen and I enjoy it. And that's it. And that's all to say about it. It's just simple now. It's much more enjoyable to live this way.
That's for sure. I mean, the simple life is great. I mean, you know, sometimes we get told that, the more things you have in life, the happier you'll become. But really, those material things sometimes can weigh you down. And sometimes when you get rid of all the crap that you've been holding on to, you can let it go, you can start receiving new things, right? So just as simple as living the simple life and just being happy with where you are, that's the greatest feeling, because not many people can just say, I am happy where I am right now. I am happy at this current stage. Even something that simple, people still overcomplicate. And sometimes I'm guilty of that sometimes too. And that's why I have to surround myself with women who can help me get over that and say, you know what, you can live a better life. You don't have to overcomplicate it. It's a lot simpler than you think. That's why I surround myself with women like May, right? When I hear her talk, it's like, wow, right? Like, I get something out of it. And this is why I love, having women here sharing their awesome stories. So, May, I just have a couple more questions for you. To the woman who's listening to this podcast right now, what would be the one tip you would give them when it comes to their own self-discovery, their inner journey to self-confidence?
Okay, I wrote a couple down. I was joking with Sheena that my husband wanted me to get organized, so I took notes before I did this interview. So anyway, the first one is just go do what you love to do. So, and whatever you love to do is perfect for you. If you love to go bird watching, then go bird watching. If you love to go surfing, go surfing. If you love to play with your cat, play with your cat. My mom loves to watch weather patterns on Google Earth. She loves it. It's like the bomb for her. She's like, look at this, there's a hurricane coming, and look at that, and there was an earthquake in like Tokyo, and like she's so excited about it, and she's so happy, right? Just do what you like. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter at all what it is. Just do it. Whatever it is that you like, just do it. That's the first thing I would say. And the more that you do what you love, you're going to be more confident in yourself. One, because you're enjoying your life. I mean, when you're enjoying your life, you forget about all these other things. You just enjoy what you're doing, The second thing I wrote is you have everything you need inside you already. And I hate to tell you to get self-esteem, because I hated everyone who told me that when I was a kid. I just hated it. That's why I tell you to go do stuff. Because really, confidence comes from doing things. Just like I said, when you're first learning to drive a car, you're not confident because you've never done it. Well, it's the same with your life. The more you do your life, the more confident you're going to get with it. So there is no you just need to go magically find self-esteem. You just have to go do what you love to do and just do a lot of it. That's it. And then everything you need to do what you love to do, you already have. You have the resources, and you'll find out the more you do things how much resources you really have. Because things will come out of nowhere. Like things you didn't even think of will pop up. And you'll be like, wow. I remember when I had this goal that I wanted my net worth. I am a financial freedom blogger. I wanted my net worth to get above zero, because it used to be negative. And I was negative, I don't know. I was negative 20,000, and it wasn't really moving. I think I was down to negative 13, and I had to become positive, and I had 2 years to get my goal, and I was getting really close, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. And then I married my husband, and my net worth, on the day that I had for the deadline, on that day, my net worth got up to $69 in the black. And it was amazing. And I had no idea it would happen because I married my husband. And then we combined some of our assets. And then suddenly my net worth was in the black. And I didn't know that was going to happen. I had no idea. I mean, when I made that goal, I didn't even know who my husband was. I'd never even met him yet, That was a year before I met my husband. Just all kinds of things. Like when I did an Ironman, I had no money. At the time, I was in a bad situation financially. However, I wanted to do an Ironman. Now, I had to somehow fly to Kentucky to do an Ironman. And I had to get this bike. And there's so much stuff you have to do for an Ironman. It's so expensive. You need a bicycle. You need swim gear. You need to run. All this stuff. It's crazy. And I was just so obsessed with it. And then I ended up doing a fundraiser. I raised money. I just found a way. And I remember I didn't know how it was going to happen. I just wanted to do it so bad because I just wanted to. And things come up. Whatever you want to do, whatever it is you're dreaming of, as soon as you start going for it, as soon as you decide that is what I want and you start doing it, things will come up to help you. And you won't know where they're going to come from or why, and they're just going to show up. And you're going to be like, wow, I had no idea, I remember I did this seminar on financial freedom. It was a Millionaire Mind Intensive seminar. I did it, I don't remember, 3 or 4 years ago. And the people who went to the seminar with me, I still talk to them sometimes. and their financial situation is the same, right? And I changed mine drastically, got much better. And they're like, well, what did you do? What did you do? And I'm like, it's like, it's not magic. I just followed the system that he taught. I just did what he said. And then just by doing it, things started to happen and things just started falling to place. And then more money showed up, and it just happens. And when you start doing things in your life, that's when miracles happen. And the final thing I wanted to share is the words that you say to yourself matter. So when you're in your downtime just thinking, or when you wake up in the morning, or when you're getting a cup of coffee, or when you're driving to work, or whatever you're doing, whatever's in your head and whatever your thoughts are, they matter. What I mean by they matter is if you're criticizing yourself and you're putting yourself down in your thoughts, that's going to ruin your self-confidence. Now, if you're saying nice things to yourself and you're giving yourself a pep talk in your downtime in your thoughts, then that's going to boost your confidence. And it makes a big difference. And what you say matters to everybody around you. Everybody. And you can use your words to help other people become confident, help yourself become confident, make the world a better place. What I say is promote financial freedom, because when you become financially free, you build yourself up to the capacity to give a greater service to the world, because there are so many people in the world that need your help. There are so many people in the world that need service. There are children dying of hunger. There's world diseases. There's so much going on in this world where we have to be of service. And if we play small and if we don't step up to the plate, become knowledgeable about our finances, become more confident in ourselves, we are letting all of these people and all of the things we could do for the world, we are letting everybody down. So we have to pick ourselves up and become the best of who we can possibly be. And the only way you can control that right now is in the words that you say to yourself and the words that you say to the people around you. So the words you speak, are they empowering or are they disempowering? And that is the biggest, most important thing that you can do for yourself, is start thinking about the words you say to yourself. And one of my favorite sentences that I used to say constantly after I got out of that horrible relationship and I realized I had to build myself up again was, I love and appreciate you exactly as you are. And I would say it looking in the mirror to myself every morning and every night before I went to bed, because it was so important to realize that everything about me was perfect. I loved it, I appreciated it, and I was exactly what I should be at that moment. It didn't matter anything about me. It could be that my legs or my whatever, my weight, everything was perfect. And I loved myself exactly as I was. All those hand gestures I do when I talk, they're perfect. They're awesome. Everything I do, it's amazing. My crooked teeth, they're awesome. Exactly. That person that you are is exactly perfect, just as she is right now. Or he is. Whoever's listening to this, that is the most important message you can say to yourself. I got that from Louise Hay. If you read her book, You Can Heal Your Life. Anyways, so think about the words you say, because they do matter. And whatever you do in your life makes a huge impact on the people around you all the time.
Wow, you got me inspired. Just hearing you talk was like, wow. I hope whoever's listening to this, you take every single word that was coming out of May's mouth telling you to just go do it. Start saying the right words to yourself, because what you say can attract the things that you want. And it's so true. Words are so powerful, which is why you have to be careful about the things you say to yourself, especially to yourself. So May, I'm so glad you came on today. Seriously, you gave me a pep rally here just by listening to you. And so if the listeners want some more awesome financial freedom tips, where can they reach you?
I have a blog. It's called yesfinanciallyfree.com. They can go there. I have a contact page. There's plenty of resources there. I have a financial freedom checklist there. I have 643 affirmations you can say to yourself to increase your financial freedom. There's one blog there. You just have to search affirmations and you'll find it. Plenty of resources. I blog daily, so you get the latest updates. And there's a lot of very important information on that blog. And the stuff that I share with people when I train them is very, it impacts them hugely. There's ways to manage your money so that you can create your own business, and it doesn't take that long. I just self-funded our, we have a business. Sheena and I do kind of similar business. We're in internet marketing, and one of our businesses that we share it has this fee called an affiliate fee. Well, my business just fully funded our affiliate fee this month. So now We have passive income coming into our business, covers our affiliate fee every month. It's always paid for. And it wasn't that hard to do. And it's easy to teach other people. And those are the kind of things I teach people, like on the blog. So it's important to get educated on how to make yourself financially free. It's something that I used to struggle with because I didn't think I was a valuable person, right? That's what happens when you have low self-esteem. However, once you realize that you have value, you realize that you have to get it out there. And every time you serve and help somebody and you see what an impact you have on their lives, it makes it even like stronger. It's like, oh my God, I have to make this work because there are people who need me. And once I uplift them, they're going to be of service to somebody else who needs them. And it's going to be like a chain effect. And it's important. So I blog about financial freedom. I think it's a very practical and yet important, noble topic to find out more about. So my blog is yesfinanciallyfree.com.
Awesome. I think I'm going to be looking for those 643 financial manifestations. So I'm like 643.
Yeah, like,
how long did that take you to type? I'm just kidding.
If you get bored of what you're saying to yourself, just scroll down, just hit your mouse button,
I'm just
let
messing
it
with
roll, and then pick like 10 new affirmations to say to yourself this morning.
I'm just messing with you. But, May, thanks for coming on. It's been such a fun time just, doing this interview. Also inspiring. Just the words that are coming out from your mouth is just really, really inspiring. Like, honestly, you got me really inspired to just go out there and just do it, as you would say. And for the listeners out there, if you want May's information, her links, her 643 affirmations, head over to the taoofselfconfidence.com and search for May's name, and it's May with M-A-Y. And
no, it's
M-E-Y. Sorry, M-E-Y.
Yeah.
My apologies.
Here's a way to remember that because I know it's not usual. Me empowering you.
Nice. Me empowering you. There you go. And her
May,
show notes will pop up. Her show notes will pop up along with everything we talked about on the show today. So May, again, thank you for sharing your journey with us. To the listeners out there, be on the lookout for another new episode, and we'll catch you later. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sheena, for the interview, by the way. You're so quick to talk. However, thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. You boosted my self-confidence.
Well, you boosted mine as well. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Check out our resources to help you jumpstart your inner journey to self-confidence by visiting thetaoofselfconfidence.com.